God says, I'm warning you, my child, open this before your breathing changes, before your hands begin to shake, because the danger standing behind your life is not waiting anymore. Someone around you has already taken their first step toward ruining everything you've been building. They are not planning to attack you in the future, they have already started. And heaven couldn't stay silent for one more second. You felt it, didn't you? That sudden heaviness in your chest. That strange silence in your room. That feeling that someone familiar is hiding something from you. Every time they talked to you, your spirit felt uneasy. Every time they smiled at you, something inside whispered, this is not what it looks like. But you ignored it, because their face is familiar, their tone is sweet, their words sound caring. God says this softness is not love, it is a trap. This person is studying your every move, waiting for the right moment to strike your peace, your reputation, your relationships, your confidence, your destiny. And you still think they are harmless. Heaven is revealing what your eyes refuse to see. Someone close to you wants to ruin your life quietly, strategically, slowly, so that you don't even realize it was them until everything collapses at once. They have already begun speaking about you behind your back. They have already told someone something twisted about you. They have already planted a seed of confusion in someone's mind. They already have a plan to make you look wrong, irresponsible, guilty, unstable, or dangerous. They want people to doubt you. They want people to distance from you. They want someone you love to misunderstand you. And what hurts the most? They pretend they love you. They pretend they care. They pretend they are helping you. They pretend they are protecting you. But God is showing me the truth. Their kindness is a mask, their concern is an act, their closeness is a strategy, and their silence is filled with cruelty. They don't want to see you rise. They don't want to see you chosen. They don't want to see you healed. They don't want to see you successful. They want to stand on the ruins of your happiness and pretend they are the victim. And God says this person studies your weakness more than your strength. They know when you get emotional. They know when you get tired. They know when you feel lonely. They know when your heart softens. And these are the exact moments they wait for, because a soft heart is easier to break, a tired mind is easier to influence, a lonely soul is easier to manipulate. Heaven is shouting because their strike will not be small. It will feel personal. It will feel deep. It will feel like betrayal. It will feel like someone ripped the ground from beneath your feet. They are preparing something that will shake you emotionally. They want to ruin your stability. They want to ruin your trust. They want to ruin your spirit. But God isn't letting them win. That's why this message has reached you at the exact second your spirit needed it. This is not a coincidence. This is a rescue. God says this person's heart has turned dark. They envy your growth. They envy your blessings. They envy your strength. They envy your resilience. They envy your potential. They don't want what you have, they want you to lose what you have. That is the difference. And it is far more dangerous. This person has pretended for so long that even you started believing their fake love. You thought they understood you. You thought they supported you. You thought they were on your side. You thought they cared for your future. But the truth is chilling, they only stayed close to gather information, to observe your vulnerabilities, to learn where to hit when the time comes. God is saying loudly, my child, remove your trust from the wrong hands before it becomes your destruction. But you still ignore the signs. That moment when they asked for your personal details out of nowhere. That moment when they reacted strangely when you were happy. That moment when their face tightened when someone praised you. That moment when they disappeared when you needed help. That moment when they acted too curious about your secrets. Those were not random moments. Those were warnings. And now the final warning is here. They are ready to attack soon. They are already thinking, how do I break them? They stay quiet while planning loudly in their mind. They stay calm while their intentions burn like fire. They act innocent while carrying poison in their heart. And God is exposing them because your destiny is too important to be destroyed by someone whose soul has already fallen into jealousy. Listen carefully, this person is not far away. They are not a stranger. They are not someone you rarely see. They are close enough to touch your life. Close enough to influence your emotions. Close enough to manipulate your decisions. Close enough to damage your peace. You've given this person too much access. Too much information. Too much trust. Too much of your heart. And they are preparing to use it against you. God says you must pull back now. Stop telling them your plans. Stop telling them your fears. Stop telling them your dreams. Stop telling them your moves. Because the moment they know something, they twist it. They twist your intentions. They twist your words. They twist your story. And they twist the truth until you look like the problem. I'm seeing something clearly, a moment in the near future where this person tries to turn someone against you, tries to make someone doubt you, tries to make you look unstable or dangerous. They want your relationships to break so they can feel superior. They want your confidence to fall so they can feel powerful. They want your spirit to collapse so they can feel victorious. This is not a misunderstanding. This is an intentional attack. And God says, not this time. Not my child. Heaven has intervened. That's why you're reading this right now. God is giving you the chance to escape before the knife hits your back. Before the betrayal becomes a wound. Before their plan becomes your pain. Before their strike becomes your breakdown. Heaven is exposing the enemy wearing a friend's face. The danger pretending to be your savior. The poison pretending to be comfort. And now it is time for you to protect your soul. Pull away quietly. Observe carefully. Limit your words. Limit your access. Limit your emotions. Because this person cannot ruin what they cannot reach. Their plan depends on your softness. Their attack depends on your trust. Their strategy depends on your openness. And God says, close the door before they enter your life again. You are not alone. You are protected. You are being warned because heaven has already seen the moment they want to hurt you. But now their plan is broken. Their timing is exposed. Their intentions are revealed. And the danger they prepared will fall back on them. God says, "My child, this person wanted to ruin your life. But now, they will not even touch it." God says they thought their plan was invisible, they believed their lies were hidden, they assumed their fake smile would cover the venom inside their heart, but heaven has already turned the lights on in the room of darkness they built around you. They don't even know that their next step is already exposed. They don't know that every whisper they made about you has already reached the ears of the divine. They don't know that every intention they buried beneath their fake concern has already been thrown into the fire of judgment. This person doesn't fear consequences, and that is what makes them dangerous. They believe no one can see through their mask, no one can sense their hatred, no one can feel the shift in their spirit. But God says, "My child feels it. My child senses it. My child is awakening. What they planned for you is not small. They wanted a collapse, not a conflict. They wanted destruction, not distance. They wanted to break something inside you so deeply that you could not recover for months. But now the tables are turning. The energy they sent to harm you has started circling back toward them. The confusion they tried to plant in your path is now spreading into their own life. The lies they prepared for you are now becoming traps for their own feet. Heaven has locked their intentions inside a box they cannot escape from. And now, their desperation will show. You will notice their behavior shifting. You will see them watching you more. You will hear their tone becoming strangely soft. You will see them acting too helpful, too curious, too involved. That's because they feel something slipping out of their control. They are panicking silently. Their mind is screaming, "Why isn't this working? Why can't I influence them?" God says the moment you received the warning, their plan began to crumble. Now they will try harder. They will act closer. They will pretend more. Because they know time is running out. But listen carefully, the more desperate they become, the more clearly their true self will show. They will say something by mistake. They will slip a truth. They will reveal a hidden jealousy in a sarcastic tone. They will question your decisions in a way that doesn't feel supportive but suffocating. They will criticize you softly and call it honesty. They will pretend to guide you but pull you in a direction that feels wrong. Watch closely. Everything they do now will reveal the truth God tried to show you earlier. This person has been waiting for the moment you break down, the moment you lose control, the moment you feel alone, because that is when their attack is the strongest. But heaven has blocked that moment. Heaven has cancelled that breakdown. Heaven has removed the opportunity. You are being lifted while they are sinking deeper into the hole they dug for you. God says this person will soon feel the weight of their own intentions. Their nights will become heavy. Their thoughts will become restless. Their peace will become foggy. They will question themselves, "Why is everything going wrong for me now?" That's because when they aimed harm at you, they opened a door of destruction for themselves. God says, "Touch not my child, for their destiny is protected by forces stronger than any human plan." You need to understand something important. This person was never meant to stay in your life. They entered with a mask and heaven tolerated it only until you were strong enough to see the truth. Now their season in your story is over. And when someone's season ends, everything about them becomes uncomfortable. Their presence becomes heavy. Their vibe becomes uneasy. Their words become suspicious. Their intentions become loud. And your spirit pushes them away. That discomfort you feel is not anxiety, it is protection. That distance you feel is not rejection, it is alignment. You are being pulled out of danger while they are being exposed in the light. God is saying, do not go back. Not this time. Because if you ignore this warning and keep giving this person access, they will strike again, harder, deeper, more personally. They want to ruin your life not by accident but by slow emotional erosion. They want to break your trust so you stop trusting everyone. They want to break your confidence so you stop believing in yourself. They want to break your spirit so you stop chasing your calling. But they underestimated your protection. They underestimated your resilience. They underestimated your spiritual armor. They underestimated the God standing behind you. This person thinks they have power over your emotions, but they don't know your spirit is evolving faster than their manipulation. They think they can control your choices, but they don't know heaven has already secured your next steps. They think they can influence your relationships, but they don't know God is aligning the right people toward you and removing the wrong ones forcefully. Their plan was built on lies, and lies cannot survive in the presence of truth. Their intentions were born in darkness, and darkness cannot stay where divine light enters. Their strategy depended on your blindness, and now your eyes are open. God says they will try one last time. One final move. One final emotional trick. One final desperate attempt to appear innocent. And when that moment comes, your spirit will know exactly who they are. You won't react. You won't fall. You won't break. You will simply detach. Quietly. Calmly. Completely. And that detachment will destroy their entire plan. Because nothing hurts an evil heart more than losing the access they believed they controlled. God says, my child, you win by walking away. You win by being silent. You win by being wise. You win by being protected. They cannot ruin a life that heaven is rebuilding. They cannot touch a destiny that heaven is guarding. They cannot break a soul that heaven is healing. And now, the destruction they prepared for you will return to them tenfold. This is the divine reversal. This is the protection in action. This is the moment everything shifts in your favor. And that person? They will soon understand, they tried to ruin the wrong soul. God says the truth is becoming louder now, louder than their lies, louder than their intentions, louder than the false stories they created about you, and their spirit is starting to feel exposed even if they don't know why. Something inside them is trembling because the darkness they planted for you has started returning to their own doorstep. The energy they released is circling back like a storm finding its creator. They thought their plan was sharp enough to cut through your blessings, but now every blade they forged is turning toward them. You may not see it yet, but the shift has begun. Their peace is shaking. Their thoughts are restless. Their confidence is cracking. The same trap they set for you is slowly sinking beneath their own feet. They are losing their grip on you, and that is making them desperate. They thought they could predict your reactions, influence your emotions, manipulate your decisions, but now they cannot understand why nothing is working. Their frustration is growing because you're not responding the way you used to, you're not breaking the way they expected, you're not bending the way they calculated. God says your awakening has disrupted their entire strategy. Every night they think about why your energy changed, why you pulled away, why their influence became weak. They replay conversations, checking where they lost control. They feel your distance even when you don't say a word. And that silence? That silence is what scares them the most. Because silence from a chosen soul is not emptiness, it's divine protection forming a wall around your spirit. They cannot cross this wall. They cannot break it. They cannot enter anymore. And the more you detach, the more their darkness suffocates them internally. God says watch carefully how their true side starts leaking through the cracks. Their smile will look forced. Their tone will shift unpredictably. Their actions will feel inconsistent. Their friendliness will feel mechanical. They will ask strange questions that don't match the moment. Their curiosity will start feeling invasive instead of caring. They will try to regain access by using soft words, emotional manipulation, or fake apologies. They will suddenly talk about memories to make you feel guilty. They will suddenly act lonely to pull you back. They will suddenly pretend to need you so you don't walk away. But understand this, none of this is love. None of this is truth. None of this is concern. This is their last attempt to hold on to the power they believed they had over your life. God says this person is losing control in the same way darkness loses control when light enters a room. When the divine exposes someone, the exposure doesn't start from the outside, it begins inside their own soul, and they feel it first. Their mind becomes chaotic. Their heart becomes unstable. Their emotions become unpredictable. They begin sensing that the role they were playing is collapsing. And when a manipulative person senses that their influence is slipping, they become more dangerous, more desperate, more unpredictable. But don't fear it, heaven foresaw their desperation long before you did. That is why your spirit was elevated at the exact moment they were preparing their next attack. You may have wondered why suddenly you felt tired of them, why suddenly their presence felt heavy, why suddenly their voice felt draining, why suddenly your soul didn't want to open up to them anymore. This was not coincidence. This was divine insulation. God was pulling your energy back because your vulnerability was becoming their weapon. They were feeding on your softness, feeding on your trust, feeding on your openness. But now that the divine has pulled your heart away, they no longer have the emotional access they depended on. Their plan is collapsing not because they stopped trying but because heaven snatched the keys they once used to enter your life. God says this person never expected you to awaken. They assumed you would stay naive. They assumed you would stay blind. They assumed you would keep believing their words without questioning their intentions. But now every movement they make feels suspicious to you. Every sentence they speak echoes differently. Everything they do feels calculated. This is your intuition becoming sharper, not by your own strength, but because heaven is expanding your spiritual senses. You are seeing what you were once blind to. You are understanding what you once ignored. You are listening to what you once doubted. And now this person is terrified because a spiritually awakened soul is their worst enemy. They cannot manipulate an awakened mind. They cannot deceive an awakened heart. They cannot control an awakened destiny. And now they're scrambling. They will begin shifting their strategy. They may act overly emotional. They may act overly angry. They may act overly helpful. They may act overly distant. They may act overly dramatic. Every shift you see will be a sign of their collapsing plan. Their mask is becoming heavy and uncomfortable. Their heart is becoming restless. Their lies are becoming tangled. And soon, they will contradict themselves in front of you. God says pay attention, the truth is coming out through their mistakes. They will lie about something small. They will react too fast to something you didn't accuse them of. They will defend themselves against a question you didn't ask. They will mention details you never brought up. They will accuse you of things you didn't do. They will project their own guilt onto you. These are not coincidences. These are confessions disguised as reactions. Their guilt will speak louder than their words. Their fear will speak louder than their excuses. Their actions will reveal their heart before their mouth speaks a word. God says this person wanted to ruin your life quietly, but now their own life is becoming unstable loudly. They thought you would break first, but now they are breaking silently. They thought you would feel lost, but now they are the ones feeling directionless. They thought you would be consumed by confusion, but now confusion is consuming them. They looked at your blessings and planned to sabotage them, but now every blessing they tried to block is returning to you multiplied. Heaven is restoring what they attempted to steal. Heaven is strengthening what they attempted to weaken. Heaven is exposing what they attempted to hide. And the more you rise, the more they crumble internally. God says this person will soon realize that they were never fighting you, they were fighting divine protection. They were never battling your strength, they were battling the angels guarding your path. And no one wins a war against the divine. Soon, they will face the consequences of every thought they directed toward you. Not because God is punishing them but because the energy they created is returning home. You don't need revenge. You don't need confrontation. You don't need to expose them. Their own actions will expose them. Their own words will expose them. Their own intentions will expose them. And when the truth surfaces, you will not be shaken. You will be calm, distant, and untouchable. God says the danger they prepared cannot reach you anymore. The destruction they wished cannot touch you anymore. The downfall they expected has turned into their own lesson. And your silence, your distance, your growth, will be the sword that ends their influence forever. You are stepping into a season where no darkness near you can survive. The person who wanted to ruin your life will now watch the divine rebuild it stronger than ever. Their jealousy will turn into regret. Their obsession will turn into fear. Their manipulation will turn into exposure. And their plan will turn into dust. God says, "My child, you are protected beyond what they can understand. You are rising beyond what they can reach. And you are walking into blessings they will never be able to ruin again. God says the moment you step into this final revelation, everything that was once hidden will collapse under the weight of truth, because this is the last warning, the final exposure, the ultimate unveiling of the heart that stood against you while pretending to stand beside you. This person never expected you to reach this stage of clarity. They never imagined you would outgrow their manipulation. They never believed you would be strong enough to see through the fog they created around your destiny. But heaven has walked you step by step out of their darkness and into a truth so bright that their intentions cannot hide anymore. They are terrified because for the first time, you are not reacting the way they predicted. You are not giving them the access they relied on. You are not providing the emotional fuel they fed on. You are not bending to their expectations. That terrifies them, because manipulators lose power when their target becomes spiritually awake. God says this person is now caught between their crumbling plan and their growing fear. They know something is coming. They don't understand it yet, but they feel the shift. Their intuition is screaming at them that they have lost the control they once held tightly around your life. They are replaying everything they did to you, every lie, every insult disguised as honesty, every moment they pretended to care while secretly celebrating your pain. Their guilt is eating them slowly. Their fear is spreading through their spirit like cracks on glass. And the more they try to hide it, the more obvious it becomes. They will start showing their true face without realizing it. They will say things they didn't mean to reveal. They will show emotions they didn't intend to expose. They will slip, stumble, hesitate, contradict themselves, react too fast, defend too quickly, or accuse you of things they are guilty of themselves. God says these slips are not mistakes, they are divine cues exposing their heart. Watch closely. The truth will not come in one explosion. It will come in small fractures, in tiny reveals, in subtle cracks that eventually split the entire mask they've worn for so long. Their downfall has already started. The moment heaven exposed their intentions to you, their spiritual protection was removed. They are now standing alone with the consequences of the energy they created. And the weight of their own negativity is beginning to crush them. But this is not your revenge, this is divine justice. God says you must not return to their darkness out of pity. Do not comfort them when their life starts shaking. Do not save them from the storms they created. Do not shield them from the consequences they deserve. Because if you return, the cycle restarts. If you give them another chance, they will strike again, harder this time. If you give them access, they will poison your peace again. God is closing this chapter for a reason. You think your heart is soft, but your destiny is sharper. Your calling is stronger. Your purpose is bigger. You were not created to carry people who only existed to destroy you. This person's presence has already slowed your growth, dimmed your light, distracted your spirit, and drained your energy long enough. Now God is removing them permanently. They will try to hold on. They will try to create emotional scenes. They will pretend to change. They will beg for your trust subtly. They will make themselves look broken so you feel guilty. They will mention memories to weaken your resolve. They will say things like, "I have no one else, you misunderstood me, I was only trying to help, why are you acting different?" Or, "You know you can trust me," all to pull you back into their cage. But God says this attachment is finished. The connection is dead. The access is revoked. The spiritual contract is cancelled. And any attempt to reconnect will only bring destruction. You cannot heal someone who uses your love as a weapon. You cannot trust someone who uses your vulnerability as leverage. You cannot fix someone who enjoys breaking you silently. Their season has expired. Their purpose has ended. Their chapter is closed. And your spirit has already moved beyond them. You may feel moments of confusion, moments where you question whether you're being too harsh, moments where you wonder if you imagine the danger. That is not your heart speaking, that is emotional residue. It fades. What remains is clarity. God says the final sign will come soon. A moment where you see something undeniable, a behavior, a word, an action, a reaction, that will confirm everything heaven warned you about. When that moment arrives, your soul will detach completely, instantly, without hesitation. And that detachment will be your liberation. This person will feel it. They will panic. They will fear losing their influence. They will attempt to regain control. But you will be unmoved because the divine has already rewritten your spirit. You will feel stronger, lighter, more focused, more clear-minded. Their presence will no longer comfort you, it will irritate your soul. Their words will no longer sway you, they will expose their intentions. Their drama will no longer confuse you, it will show their desperation. And that is when they will understand the truth, they lost you the moment heaven opened your eyes. God says their final downfall will not be loud. It will be silent. Quiet. Internal. They will lose sleep. They will lose peace. They will lose control. They will lose relationships with others because their own behavior will betray them. They will lose opportunities because the energy they created has returned home. They will watch your life rise while theirs crumbles slowly, painfully, karmically. Not because you cursed them, but because the universe corrects imbalance. And you? You will rise higher than they ever expected. You will heal faster than they believed possible. You will become stronger than their projections. You will receive blessings they never wanted you to have. You will meet people who protect you, uplift you, respect you, and love you authentically. You will walk into rooms they never imagined you could enter. You will achieve things they secretly prayed you wouldn't. You will glow in a way that makes their jealousy burn. God says in this final stage, your silence is your weapon, your distance is your protection, and your healing is your victory. Their chapter ends here. Your story begins now. They wanted to ruin your life, but now they will watch heaven rebuild it in ways that will break their spirit. This is your final warning, your final awakening, your final release. Walk away and don't look back. The door behind you is closing forever. And the destiny ahead of you is one they will never be able to touch again.